There he is. Okay, it's over there. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. My name's Chris Lau, and I'm a solutions architect at Red8.
I'm Tobias, and I'm a cloud architect at Red8. Time to talk tech.
Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Chris.
Hey. So, tell me about infrastructure as code, and in particular, why you feel like it's important for me to have in my data center. It seems like it's a lot of overhead to get it set up and get it running in my data center rather than having my sysadmins just do the job as they're doing today. Like, why should they be doing infrastructure as code?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and oftentimes it can seem kind of like a big start. It takes a lot to get going. It's a little less than you might think, but like kind of the best example I can think of is from personal experience. I can remember, I think every sysadmin can relate to the one server that they're afraid to touch, they're afraid to restart, they don't want to patch it. Everybody always gets tense when the change window comes around. And infrastructure as code really helps solve this type of problem, where you don't know what a server is for, you don't know why it came to be, and you don't know what's running on it. So you can start kind of at the the origin of the server as it begins its life as a fresh new box. You can provision it with infrastructure as code, and you can answer the what's there just by looking at a flat file. What resources are assigned. You can answer the why. If you look at the commit history. Why did the server come to be? What tickets were associated? Who approved this? And then when it comes to kind of configuration management in day two and changes along the way, you can go all the way down to the OS level. What's running on this server? What did I install? How did I install it? And what changes did I make along the way? So it really kind of manages that full life cycle in an easy way to track and maintain down the line.
So do you think, so a lot of us have legacy environments where it might be a bit more difficult to adopt something like this. Do you recommend they do it for legacy and new, or just new environments? What are your thoughts?
So definitely no excuse not to with the new stuff, because new stuff is eventually going to become legacy, and you want to be able to answer those questions down the line. You want the ease and the stability that comes with infrastructure as code as those newer systems kind of mature. But legacy oftentimes is a little more challenging. You have these older systems, you don't know where they came from. What do we do with them now? It's so hard to figure it out now. And really, you're going to have day-to-day tasks that you do on legacy, and you can codify those tasks. So why not start? I guess is the best way to put it, right?
So give me a good example of some of the tasks that might seem that are super easy for infrastructure as code to target right out of the box.
Yeah, so right out of the box, I think where I often start with a lot of sysadmins and where I often start with a lot of my customers is basic deployment and template creation. I come from a background where we had some PCI requirements around our Linux systems and certain configuration on our Windows systems. And we had templates that were really a black box. We didn't know who made them, what way, or why. So we codified how we set those up according to those PCI requirements. So we had a playbook that would define what's on the system, and we'd make that our golden image from then on. It's a great place to start, basic OS configuration, and then ultimately rolling those out. How do we standardize the rollout? Where's dev, prod, and QA? You can codify those things with infrastructure as code as well. So basic VM operations, then you can expand to things like networking and security, response templates.
Okay.
The possibilities are endless, Chris.
What are some of the tools out there that would allow me to adopt infrastructure as code, like coders? Who are the players in this space?
There's a bunch of them. I mean, you've probably heard Red Hat has Ansible. There's Chef and there's Puppet. Ansible is really one of the big dominant players in the market right now, spanning things like networking and OS configuration and provisioning. And then there's, HashiCorp is also a big player here right now with things like Terraform that you've probably heard of. Packer is great for template creation like we talked about. So those are kind of the bigger ones that I deal with right now.
What would be the best way for me to investigate whether my infrastructure would be compatible with something like Ansible, for example?
Oh, great question. So you can just check out, Ansible's a great example. I hate to say just Google it, but really, what I do when I want to write these tasks is I have something I want to do, let's say a Windows feature, and I just tag the word Ansible on the end. And what's going to happen is you're going to get the Ansible documentation on the Windows Update module. And just kind of browsing sources like Ansible Galaxy or the Ansible module list really helps give you kind of a pretty quick picture of what's supported by by Ansible.